Thanks for coming in. You have 5 minutes.
For the past 2 days, I wondered how I was going to do this, and what the young lady before me had said is true. I don't see anybody else in the crowd here that directly knows anything about homelessness, never stayed in a shelter. Just to give you a little background on myself, for 12 years of my life, I stayed in the shelters. I first stepped foot into the Seton House in 1997 as a 20-year-old young man. Currently, I've been living the past 6 years in this general area of Leslieville in what's called temporary housing. For those who don't know, temporary housing is the step before getting permanent housing, where you're integrated into a shared accommodation so that you can integrate yourself into the community. You know, I was going to talk about this beer store issue and the safety of your kids, but quite frankly, the facts are that I walk through memory lane at least 3 times a week. I agree with the people that bring up the safety concerns regarding the gentleman in the shelter, but the facts are facts, and from direct hands-on experience, I happen to know, and I'm sure Councillor Burnside can attest to from previous work that he's done, there's a different code of conduct within the homeless community. The #1 rule is your children are #1 priority. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if your child is hurt or something happens, it's not going to be by one of those homeless gentlemen. I believe that the young lady that was worried, it was in one of the newspapers a couple days ago or weeks ago, about her children playing in the laneway. I'd be worried about my children playing in a laneway too. They got vehicles. They have off-leash dogs that I see every single day. And yes, there is a problem with the homeless community with regards to alcoholism, but there's a problem with alcoholism throughout this city. It's not just these 80 gentlemen. So I'm not going to be here today to argue back and forth about safety, whether the environmental studies were good or not. I'm here to tell you that these programs work. I'm alive. I shouldn't be alive today. These programs absolutely work. And another proof of that these programs absolutely work, he might hate me for saying this, but there's a gentleman that's been sitting with me all morning. And through my life of addiction, I've burnt a hell of a lot of bridges. And that was the very first bridge I ever burnt. He should have kicked my behind and taken care of that. But 23 years later, he heard through the community and through Facebook, Twitter, whatever else everybody uses, what I'm trying to accomplish here today, and he's here supporting me today. So if that's not proof to everybody that these programs actually do work, I don't know what the heck's going to be proof. So I'm just quite simply going to say that through my experiences, my direct hands-on experiences, I will offer myself up to volunteer for the committee. I will offer myself up to volunteer to be a mentor or a community outreach worker with this shelter. And for the record, I happen to have stayed at the Hope Shelter and the Gateway Shelter. I know that the Salvation Army runs a fantastic program there. And my only suggestion, other than questions that you might have that I can answer, would be that the Salvation Army runs this facility exactly the same as the Gateway. They have many protocols and rules and regulations in effect. It ran successfully down there for years, and I just believe that while the concerns of the residents are valid, as a couple of people have already said, your kids are not going to be no more in danger than they would be if the shelter wasn't there. In fact, if your house is burning down, those homeless people are probably going to be the first ones to run to your rescue. So again, I want to end this by saying, yesterday Mr. Tory was on record. He went and did an interview with Global TV, and this is the only thing I'm going to read from. He was quoted as saying with regards to housing, "You're not going to do any better as a whole without being in the field with the tenants." Well, I got news for you. 12 years in the shelters, 6 years in temporary housing, and 4,217 days waiting for permanent housing. This is a need, not a want. And barring any other questions that committee or visiting council have, that's really all I got to say about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions for the deputant? Councillor Burnside?
Thank you. Sorry, how many shelters have you had experience with?
If we're going to be honest here, we're going to be totally honest here. I've stayed at every single shelter for men except for the Good Shepherd.
Ballpark?
Ballpark, probably a total of about 15 different shelters. I do want to say too, because it's got to be said, without any insult to the residents of shelters in downtown Toronto is a totally different beast. When this 80-man shelter comes into effect in Leslieville, I believe the pros are going to, outweigh the cons tenfold. It's a different beast, and it's different rules and regulations.
So in terms of, I'm sure different shelters are run differently,
Yes,
some better than others.
yes.
Where would the Salvation Army rate in that?
I have stayed at the Old Hope Shelter. I have stayed at 5 shelters. I believe that were all run by the Salvation Army. Stayed at the Hope Shelter, stayed at the Gateway Shelter. There was one in Scarborough that I believe used to be run by them. But anyways, out of all those facilities, and I'm just being honest, I'm sorry to the fine folks at the Salvation Army. If I was told that I had to walk into the Maxwell Meagan downtown and sleep there, I would sleep in Allen Gardens. Any other facility that I have been in that the Salvation Army run, and that's just the nature of the beast. That's not because it's the Salvation Army. It's just the way it is down there, man. With regards to any of the other shelters, such as the Old Riverdale, the Gateway, they are all run with rules and regulations, zero tolerance policy. For example, all the folks worried about the people hanging out and smoking and stuff, there's a zero tolerance policy for loitering within the Gateway shelter. So if it works in downtown Toronto across the street from a hotel, why would it not work for 80 guys? That's 20 guys less in Leslieville. I think their mentality will be different. They will set the tone for the next 80 guys to come, and there's a sense of belonging there. They already exist on our streets in Leslieville. They just hide it better than they do downtown. That's the simple facts. This is a need, not a want. And I believe, like I said, as long as it's, I would suggest if there's any way to do it, I don't know if you can, but if in your talks with the Salvation Army before this motion goes forward at committee meeting, ask them that they run the shelter exactly like they run the Gateway shelter. I guarantee you won't have no problems whatsoever. None.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Thank you, Councillor Burnside. And Councillor Mahavoc.
Yes. You mentioned that homeless folks already are in the Leslieville area.
Yep.
Where do they generally stay? Is there a specific area, or they just find
See,
that?
this is where I'm caught between a rock and a hard place, right? Because everybody knows that these homeless folks, they don't have nowhere to go to, whatever, have a beer, have a cigarette, whatever it is they do. I will say it is on main ways. I can say Jimmy Simpson Park, Ashbridges Bay, all those types of places. But I'm not trying to be insulting. It's different. It's different. Everybody that's a resident of Leslieville that has a little baby carriage or whatever, they walk by them every day at the Shoppers Drug Mart. They walk by them every day at the Value Village. They proceed with their activities in Jimmy Simpson Park with them. It tends to be a different type down there, where, I mean, the gentlemen will hide a beer that they have. They'll go behind the rocks at Ashbridges Bay, so they're out of the way of children. In our community, we're one of the most diverse communities in the city. We have same-sex couples, we have old people, we have young people. We are accepting to everybody, and I just have to say, I firmly believe, from direct experience, I know it's hard for the general public or yourselves to believe it, but from direct experience, this 80-man shelter, there's 85% of them will probably be people from our own streets already. And they already have a certain respect. You're going to get the odd, do you got a toonie, do you got a smoke? But, I mean, that happens everywhere, man. With regards to these people, there's already, frame it however you want to put it, there's already underground rules, meaning your kids are safe, and certain things that are misrepresented, sorry, but in the media, or as one of the other speakers said, through word-of-mouth telephone tag, that's why this fear is there. Because, again, 18 years of direct experience with it, nobody knows it. There isn't nobody, it's nothing to brag about. I'm just trying to be helpful. There isn't nobody that can hold the candlestick to the experiences that I've been through.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Any other questions for the deputant? No? Thank you very much for coming in.